行くわよ。
What is going on, niche gaming enthusiasts? I'm going to make this really quick because this video is short because the camera died when we were actually at the event, and so I had to use my phone, and I had super limited amount of storage, so I couldn't get all the footage of me and Cody playing Super Mario Odyssey, but I want to get through a lot of this as quickly as possible and then allow Brandon, who is sitting right beside me, to ask some questions about the gameplay. So, for a couple of things, almost everything in the world is interactable with the hat, be it destroying it, popping it on top of their heads to control like people or objects depending on what it is, and using those for a lot of great puzzle elements that are developing in the game. We both use motion controls. They both worked very, very well. There are certain instances where you can take control of one of those like New York style telescope things where you put a coin in and you get like their binoculars. I don't know what the name of that is. But it like shoots you up in the air. Like you'll see it later on, like right here. Cody like threw it right on the hat, and then it basically allows you to take a look. And we were just really quickly getting used to the controls, so that's all the footage we had for it. And kind of seeing some of the things that you do. Some things that you won't see that are in this demo that Cody did in the city was take control of a manhole cover and be able to move it and get into a secret area. Be able to, and as you notice, he was testing to see like what would the hat interact with and how. Obviously, it has an animation when it hits it. It doesn't only hit the object, but it spins around it if it doesn't have like some sort of activation. Obviously, right here, you're taking a look, and he's beating the crap out of a bike, and it's getting him some coins. And then this is kind of where the video cut off, but he was trying to take control of a guy who was racing to grab a coin that's in the far back, which is a very specific special coin. So these sort of things are very prevalent in the city, and it's very interesting how it is completely different from some gameplay that you're about to see me go through. Come on, are we going to get it? Are we going to get it? Yay! Okay, so we got it, and that's where the video just like cut. So this was my gameplay where we're actually in there, the the highest tower, which is kind of like a mission setup that you're going to be getting with Super Mario 64-ish, but you can collect the other coins without having to go back into the previous world. This was very much more like a quest hub setup when I got there. It's like, hey, do this thing. Hey, what's going on? Why is there ice in the desert? We can't get to certain things, or certain things have been frozen over, and specifically the water, as you noticed, that was in the town. As you can see, you can use different objects, and see, he's giving me a little hint. It's frozen. You can't do jack shit, right? But you can use certain objects to kind of bounce around the place. And they really try to encourage you to find those certain things. And also, you're seeing a brand new mechanic right here, which was like kind of like a bowling mechanic where I just you kind of have to do a roll with the trigger. I believe it's the left trigger and like a jump, maybe? I'm not quite sure, the jump button. But what you could do is then you shake your hands back and forth and you do this rolling motion, and it makes you basically a bowling ball. There was a lot of really cool things here with, you see the smaller Goombas you can't take control of, but previously, as shown, you could take care of the bigger Goombas. And right there I took control of a Bullet Bill and was able to use it to cross this edge. And yeah, so Brandon, why don't you start throwing in some comments and questions on this?
So I wanted to have a little note. I couldn't play the game because we literally were so booked. We had multiple appointments. Mike and Cody had to go to Nintendo, to play these games. I'm super excited for it. I think the biggest thing is to point out, as Michael said, it's the first 3D kind of esque open world since Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine. I think the biggest thing a lot of people are probably wondering is, how's the transition from the hub to the levels? Do you have to go to a certain spot and hit, okay, go to this level, or do you just kind of seamlessly transition between the hub and like this, say, desert region,
And so that was kind of one of the interesting things. They allowed us to have a certain level select at the beginning, like this area, this area.
Okay.
But one of the things that you're seeing is I'm able to collect the different kind of coins that are like, hey, like before with the stars, right?
Yeah.
Like the coins are like, oh, this is a moon, this is a star.
Okay.
Like they have different kind of shapes or whatever, and values and importance. There's 3 types. There's like the gold ones, then there's the like purple ones or whatever, and then there are the what is it called? There's the main one, which is the moons. that you're trying to do. And it's very interesting. They set it up, if you're not paying attention, though, as like when I was looking through trying to look for stuff, these little Goombas just fucking kick my ass. And it's not as forgiving as Mario 64. Like, you get 3 hits and you're fucked. And this was like, we did the recording for this at the very, very tail end, so we didn't have a whole hell of a lot of time to complete the area, but as you can see, I was getting extra heart, trying to play with the mechanics and stuff. One of the things is like, when you pop into these demos, you learn how quickly you suck at something unless you play it for a little while.
Okay.
Because you're like, oh crap, you keep running into stuff. But with a game like this, you can actually get into it super quick. Like, this is at the like beginning of our playthrough, and we were able to just, get into it, which is amazing. So
New Donk City seems to be the hub, and then you jumped into like this is like the desert region, And,
no, they're actually operate on a similar stance. Like they operate similarly. Like
I see. Oh,
that's a whole city with its own set of coins and things like that. This is a whole nother area that is just
awesome.
Massive.
Wow.
And it just bleeds in, in all the coins and getting the challenges all bleed into each other. So you can just kind of go, well, I want to get that coin. Okay, I see it. I'm going to go get it.
It's kind of like Todd Howard and that mountain. You see, you can go climb it. You climb that mountain over there.
Yeah, basically, right? So they were, I think they were probably soft experimenting with the Zelda. And then they're kind of doing it. But this is also adds like little things like that. Like, I just was like, I'm going to see what happens if I throw my hat at this last one. And it ended up bouncing, hitting all of those. I was able to get the coins. Now, here's another cool thing. Is like, they have these sections here where you're obviously turning into 2D Mario. And you're going to have some light puzzle elements and stuff like that. Now, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, okay, you can get these coins. And, just that would be the end of it. But I was like, oh, wait a minute. There are bricks on top. I could probably break those. As soon as I hit that one, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I could go back and actually break one of these. So as soon as I was able to, I just said, oh, fuck it. Well then, boom.
That's so
You're
cool.
going into 3D, and then here's another coin. Just right there. I was like, oh, okay. So they kind of set it up where it's like, you're going to break the boxes anyway.
Yeah.
You did a thing. It's not apparent. Like, you wouldn't see it with the scope, right? Because you wouldn't exactly know how to get up there. But once you do, boom, it's there. So it's
so
like,
cool.
It gives you that incentive to explore. Sadly, my time's about to be running up on doing the video for this stuff. But it was really fun playing with the bullet bill. There's only a limited time with certain enemies that you can keep control of. But this one it's a real puzzle element where I had to figure out how to blow myself up when I was the bullet bill. Just so I could get that coin,
awesome.
Or else you would have to keep circling, and that's why they had that pillar there, so you could do that. But yeah, that was the end of my playthrough for that. And just touching a little bit more on it, controls are smooth. Motion controls worked fairly well. Do you have any questions outside of that?
I know there's HD Rumble. Obviously, that has to be supported with this game. I mean, did anything it's probably hard to remember because how many things we played, and how many things we've covered so far. But
I got it pretty well ingrained specifically because I knew I had to pay attention because there's no video.
There were certain cues with Rumble, if you.
No, not really.
Okay.
I feel like this game might not actually utilize it as well as any other games, at least from what I experienced. It was interesting. There was a lot of elements there. It's like, yeah, this is a Mario game, and it's weird too because it made the city maybe is more like the more shocking thing. Like, it is a city, but it's Mario, and it functions as somebody's house is burning down or somebody's dying of an overdose. Awesome. Sorry for the interruption, for the sirens in the background. Yeah, right. But right now you're just basically seeing me loop the footage back for you guys, so you can kind of take a look at the stuff when we're talking about it. But other than that, I feel like it's very competent. I feel like people are going to obviously like this. There was in Cody's playthrough where it was Pauline, I believe, or was it Rosaline?
I think it's Pauline.
Pauline.
Yeah.
She's basically she's thick. She's like a thick singer. Like, I saw a meme the other day. It was like Pauline replaced Jessica Rabbit, and because he played Mario too. So
I will say the theme song is super fucking catchy. Somebody somehow got it and ripped it, uploaded it, up to YouTube, and so I somehow
he's been playing it all E3.
I got it magically on my computer and phone somehow. I don't know how. I mean, just,
So it had a small gap in it, which was weird popping noise in it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are gonna like it. I'm also going to use this opportunity, and there's really no footage that we can really share here, though, of Splatoon, because Splatoon was being played via the handheld mode, and me and Cody did check that out just for a very, very, very short amount of time, but it was the PvE aspect of it, and it was the kind of like Zerg mode, right? Where like everything kind of, what do they call that now? It's like when everything
like a horde mode?
Like a horde mode.
Yeah.
I think back in the day when you played StarCraft, it was a Zerg mode where they would all come in. But yeah, it was like a horde mode where you would have to collect the eggs and stuff. And there's like a percentage. You could go to the 5% difficulty looked like pretty... Yeah, okay, this is a good challenge. 5% difficulty. It goes up to 100 fucking percent. And there are bosses, and they all have specific things. There's multiple different bosses and stuff like that.
Jesus.
And we got slammed. And I don't think anybody I've seen talked about how difficult you can make that. Basically, 3 bosses spawned within like a couple seconds and just wiped all of us within a minute. And it's like you can
That's
actually
awesome.
revive your teammates. Right? So like if you're doing a difficulty that big, you have to be around each other because you have to use the ink to revive your teammates. And like when they all come for you, you're screwed because if you're spread out, one will go one. The AI is really smart in the way that they path and stuff, and they're out for you. And so it was very interesting to see a Nintendo game with like that level of difficulty again. So that was actually pretty cool. So other than that, I mean, Splatoon 2 on the fucking Switch, especially in handheld mode. I mean, I've gotten some other hands-on time with it. Obviously, a lot of other people had too, but like, it just looks fucking good. Like, I don't know, man.
It really looks good. I mean, I played the test fire. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, so you got the combination of the connection, and obviously when we were playing it, we were playing it at the basically the I think they call it near far mode or whatever, but it's basically they all connect to each other. So you have 4 switches all connecting to each other, and you're all just sitting down and playing this mode, and it saves it to your system. So it knows. So you're like doing all the unlocks and shit, but it's on your system, and you can just walk up and play with people. Be like, hey man, you want a quick horde or whatever? Like, you could do that. That's fucking phenomenal to me. And obviously when that the whole time was like egg puns because you're supposed to be. It was like, oh, that was an excellent shot. Oh god, we have to finish. You know.
Oh my god, that's just so corny.
God, that was exciting. Oh.
Well,
man, that was a real scramble.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
yeah.
it's so
you know, the puns were a little fishy.
It's Jesus, dude. It's so bad.
That's a little bit it for our time at the Nintendo little pre-booth. I hope that was insightful and could inform you guys on that. We couldn't get direct feed because we were at the very end of the show when we got in. And so we couldn't connect the big, because when you do capture and stuff, it's like you have to get the computer and all that because we do it all in HD. So I want to thank all you guys. You have any final questions for that? Or
well, I definitely want to mention the dates. Splatoon 2 is launching next month, July 21st. Mario Odyssey is coming a bit later on October 27th.
That's like a month and a month. Like, that's like huge.
Yeah.
You know? So you're going to get some good stuff. Plus, you got that fucking Fire Emblem on its way.
That's coming too.
Oh, man. I mean, they got some games.
Yep.
And then people don't, you know. And then you had ARMS this month. So, yeah, way to go, Nintendo. They, I feel like maybe they kind of overcooked it a little bit. You know, in the beginning, and they should have just let it ride out and then released it this year. Because can you imagine them going, oh, by the way, releasing it this year, you're going to have ARMS, Mario. Oh, and by the way, next year you have fucking Metroid. Oh, you're going to have all these Fire Emblem games. Oh, and obviously we've been talking about Battle Crashers. I mean, holy fuck.
Or Battle Chasers.
Or Battle Chasers, sorry.
Yeah.
Battle Chasers, and then you have fucking Rogue Trooper.
Yeah.
That's going to be like, holy shit, dude, I fucking can't wait to play Rogue Trooper on the Switch. And so we got videos up for all that stuff. Be sure to check out the Niche Gamer YouTube channel where we got all the stuff and also the posts. Go comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps us out. And hey, if you want to help us pay for the fucking extravagant lifestyle of going to E3 and eating a cup of ramen, feel free to support our Patreon page. And we will see you all in a live Final Thoughts E3, which you guys should definitely check out by the time this is posted, podcast. And it will be on the YouTubes and website. All the plugs.
Yep, everything.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, guys.